Just a wrap up of the work session of the council meeting for the City of Grand Rapids for May 13, 2019. Megan Christensen was in at the work session, talked a little bit about Visit Grand Rapids and the activities around businesses that are supported through the room tax that is applied. And she comes in every year and talks about the number of people that use and the impact that tourism has on Grand Rapids. It's always nice to hear Megan's update along with the some of the key activities that's going to be taking place the rest of this spring, summer, and fall. So with that, get out when you can and take an opportunity to participate and go to some of these events, whether it's Tall Timber Days, parades, whatever it might be, that influence and support businesses in this area. Mandy Alto was in, talked a little bit about Advocates for Family Peace. She gave a little bit of a preview of the work that they do. It's a sad situation, but there are needs out there for people to have and to know where they can go when they need support, when they're having issues within the family. So it was nice to hear a little bit of an update there as well. And then Ben DiNucci, County Commissioner, was in and talked a little bit about the support letter from Mesabi Metallics. I think everyone in this area is supportive of let's get that project. That ESSER project's been on the books over there for years and years. It's kind of at a standstill right now, but we're looking at trying to revive it, get that project moving forward. Everyone knows that the creation of a tack plant and eventually direct reduction on the range in the Nashwauk-Keewatin area would do great wonders for this area from an economic impact and an employment standpoint. Would add 350 plus jobs directly and somewhere between 400 and 600 indirect jobs. And when you take a look at the 7% unemployment rate in Itasca County, that would be very, very well thought of from an employment standpoint of getting that facility up and running. Then Councilmember Toven talked a little bit about our Grand Rapids HRA and where we're moving, trying to move with that. So we've got a Grand Rapids HRA and we've got a county HRA, and we're looking at trying to meld those two units into one cohesive unit that does the required needs from a housing redevelopment standpoint. So whether it's a joint powers agreement or a complete merger with Itasca County HRA, that's to be seen how we'll go, but more to come as we move down that path. On the consent agenda, just a couple of things I want to talk on. We've talked to great extent over the last few months about the Great River Acres and the work out there with the West School and what needs to be done. We already got some change orders that needed to be approved in that, so we approved change orders 1 and 2 related to the Golf Course Road, Great River Acres. We're going to harvest some timber on the airport, Itasca County, Grand Rapids airport out there. So we approved that to advertise and to solicit bids to harvest timber out in that area. We approved a request from the Fire Department, Public Works Department, and Community Development Department for new vehicles that have been well and long overdue in their areas. The last one, we did sign or authorize a letter supporting Itasca County and other cities and stuff as it relates to the Mesabi Metallics. So Grand Rapids as a city and as a council is on board supporting, trying to get that project up and running and moving forward. Not necessarily pleased with some of the partners in the project, but supporting the project is a good project, a viable project that should move forward in its entirety. Doing mining over there to an end product versus taking ore out of the ground and moving the ore to another facility to produce pellets at that facility. So Barb Baird gave a department head report, and once again the city has been nominated for, I think it's the 26th or 27th year for financial reporting. And then she talked a little bit about revenues coming in, revenues going out. Revenues coming in is about 103% of budget. Revenues going expenses going out is a little over that, to the extent that we're about $51,600 of expenses over revenue. And this happens periodically, and we have ways through our general fund monies and stuff that we cover that. So this is the first year I think that we've gone down that path, and I think it's easy to acknowledge where some of them overruns were. When you take a look at the snow season that we had and some of the crack filling as a result of severe temperatures with frost heaving and cracks and stuff, it's easy to find out. And on the public works side, they're not the only ones that was over, but they're certainly one of the contributing factors on why those increases were there. Going down, we renamed Legion Baseball Field. We support renaming to the Bob Streeter Field at American Legion Park. Then we get into some of the heavier stuff. You all know, and I've talked for months over the last, since 2014, when we first took a run at a local sales tax option in the city of Grand Rapids to cover some of the expense of streets at that point in time. And now the second time that we looked at that in covering some of the expenses that need to be done to bring our IRA Civic Center up to code and compliance. And we have entered into an agreement with ICS Consulting for professional services to help us with that project. Hopefully third time's the charm on what we need to do out there. We know we do need to do something, and it is going to be at some expense. The question is, how do we raise that money? Where does it come from? Is it through sales tax? Is it through property tax? Is it closing the building? If you close that west venue, should that be the ultimate final option that the city takes? So all options are on the table right now. We need to look at that. We do have a request in for some state bonding. Hopefully if there's a bonding bill this year down at the state capitol, we only got another week or so to wait to find out if there is. Hopefully the city of Grand Rapids would be a recipient of some funding that would help offset that project and could help stimulate and encourage folks out there to support one of 2 or 3 options that will be brought back to the city of Grand Rapids to consider in how to upgrade and take care of the issues that are out there. The other thing is we established a steering committee with the parties that would be and have use of that facility. So the steering committee, I had made the comment to our city administrator, it seems like it's quite large. As the best number I get, it's going to be somewhere between 15 and 20 some people on there, but maybe that's a good thing to get ideas in on how we can move this forward. We did some final plat approvals for Great River Acres. We did some preliminary plat approvals for Rebound Commercial Addition, you know, the old sawmill property. Rebound is looking at putting a motel hotel up there with 5 outlots, you know, looking at restaurants, coffee shops, whatever it might be, maybe potentially a small bank or something. Who knows what's going to be in up there? That's Rebound's decision when they start marketing them outlots, but we approved the preliminary plat for Rebound as well. And then we also approved a resolution for the purchase of the old school property over behind the YMCA, the Riverview School property that the city of Grand Rapids got in the land exchange with UPM Kumani when we gave them land over on the river. We acquired the land out by the hospital. We acquired through the school district and some of the land exchanges property at Forest Lake, and we will get the Forest Lake and the Riverview property. So we're looking at how to develop that, and the project that's looking at going there, it's called Aurora Heights. Once again, Skip DeShano, who's done a lot of work as D.W. Jones in the city of Grand Rapids, is going to be one of the key players in the development of that property. 56 low-income-based facilities, 38 apartments and 18 townhomes. It's about an $11 million project, and we look forward to moving forward with D.W. Jones to meet a need. I think Audrey Moen and Diane Larson talked about, or I know Diane did, about the need for housing and units and stuff, and the 2014 housing study showed that we're 500 to 700 units short in the Grand Rapids area. That number has been improving since 2014, but there's still a significant need for income-based housing. We rejected the 2019 road projects. We approved it with a preliminary number of $2.5 million a few months back, and when the bids actually come in to do the street work in Grand Rapids for 2019, it came in at 3.2, which was a $743 $743,000 increase over where we had expected that bid to be, and we just cannot justify that as a city of going out to the residents and saying, oh, by the way, not only is it costing you this, but we got to build in another $743,000. So we will look at that. We rejected all bids. We will rebid it later in the fall, and we will hope to get better quotes in the fall going into the 2020 construction season. So that action was taken tonight as well. We are going to do some. We are going to fix 2 alleys on Block 19 between 2nd Avenue and 3rd Avenues. So them blocks on either side of 169, them alleys will be taken care of. One's behind Pekagama Hotel and the other one's behind the Wells Fargo building. And that will be done sometime over the summer. And then we approved the construction administration with SEH. So with that money that's going to be spent on the alleys, you have to have somebody to administer this project, and SEH is going to be doing that with an approved number of $5,244.82. So with that, we look forward to, we had 3 weeks since our last council meeting. We're back on the 2-week schedule, so 14 days from the 13th to 27th. We look forward to doing a wrap-up of what's happening on the city council at that point in time. So with that, I would like to wish and hope that all the mothers out there and wives had a great Mother's Day. The weather was fairly accommodating, at least in the Grand Rapids area. So happy Mother's Day to those. I know I wished my wife well, and our 2 sons called and wished her well, and they're doing stuff for and with their mother. So it's a great time to appreciate your mother or your spouse out there. So, and with that, get out and enjoy where it looks like we finally turned the corner into some warmer weather. Hopefully you've got an opportunity to get out and enjoy some of our trails and some of the activities that typically take place in the spring. I know I've started to see a few people out doing some yard work finally around our neighborhood, and I'm sure it's no different in your area. You see people out there finally doing some yard work. So get out and enjoy the weather over these next couple of weeks or the whole summer, and we look forward to meeting with you again on the 27th. Take care and have a good evening.